Good afternoon. Happy Monday. The cockle-doodle-doos are cockle-doodle-dooing. I am Adina. If you don't know, now you know. And we are pulling the curtain back beyond the veil around here. So I have had a few people ask me to do readings on Nipsey Hussle and Lauren London. And I have refrained specifically from reading Nipsey Hussle and Lauren London because I know why a lot of people want me to. I know that there's a specific reader. Shout out to Celestial Tarot with Auntie Sam, Miss Sam. She's the first person and the only person I know who will at least publicly, she's the first person and the only person that I know that have mentioned Lauren London in nefarious circumstances with Cassie and Nipsey Hussle. Now, I did look into them a long time ago personally to myself. I actually looked into Nipsey Hussle and I saw some questionable things myself, but I never read them together publicly, and I'm not going to choose to read them together today. However, I will read Nipsey Hussle, and whatever comes out, comes out. So with that being said, let me get myself together. I would like to have had my bell and some incense, but this is impromptu. A break in between work. So let me just call him up old school style. Nipsey Hussle, Nipsey. Nipsey Hussle, Nipsey. Is his name, there's an E prominent somewhere in his name. I know it's Eritrean. That's his nationality. Or ethnicity, whatever it is. Nipsey Hussle, Most High Mother and Father of God, please allow me to conjure up the soul, the spirit of Nipsey Hussle. I don't have his real name, but his public entertainment name was Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey. Please allow nothing or no one to be hidden from me. Nipsey. Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey smells good. Whatever cologne he liked to wear while he was alive, or if this isn't his living cologne, something about him smells good. I know that he's tall, he's caramel complected, light coffee complected, slender. He comes in wearing what I would consider to be a California-ish outfit, but it's purple, not blue. I don't know why. Oh, his color, Nipsey blue. Because at first I kind of see it as purple, and then I saw it as blue. But it's purple. It's a purple suit. Black shoes, black shirt, white shirt, purple suit, purple and blue. Purple at sometimes, blue at sometimes. Nipsey Hussle, would you mind talking to me about the circumstances surrounding your passing? Nipsey Hussle, would you mind talking to me about the circumstances of your passing? How your passing came to pass, how your passing came to be. Okay. This Eight of Swords Upright in the present position feels like a setup. It feels like everybody that he had around him, because this would be self-inflicted, but I know his death wasn't a suicide. This isn't my suicide card. I would say that Nipsey probably knew he had questionable people around him, or at the time of his death was in questionable circumstances. He probably knew that he should have left or not been there, or should have not been around the people that he was around, but for some reason he stayed. I also get the impression that Nipsey forefelt in his spirit, in his soul, in his mind's eye, foresaw danger coming to him. The challenge is that he did not leave while he got the opportunity to, and I feel like he did. After whatever argument or disagreement he had, he stayed when he should have left. Leaving is the challenge. Leaving after things had died down. Recent past, I would like to think that someone threatened, maybe while they were having the disagreement. Someone said, "I'm going to kill you." I don't know if Nipsey had any attempts on his life previously. If he's been shot at before. But there's something in the recent past leading up to the circumstances surrounding his death that made him know, like I said, a foreboding. I don't know if this was a verbal threat, even at the time of the argument, or if this was some time prior to that incident. Y'all excuse the chickens, they own one today. They ain't seen me out here in a few days, in a while. So this gives me an attempt, though. I don't know if someone around close to Nipsey Hussle passed away violently right before his death, but there was an attempt, I would like to say, or the setup for Nipsey Hussle. So even the argument that he was in that led to his death, if he did leave, he would have survived that day. But I don't know if he would have survived much longer than that, because I feel like this was an arrangement. And I feel like he knows that there might have been, or that there was going to be an attempt or another attempt on him. Someone stood to benefit greatly from the turn of events, from Nipsey Hussle's passing, because in the near future after his passing, and I'd like to say that maybe even from the perspective of this reading, his passing is in the past position. So it's like he liked to talk about the circumstances surrounding his death, but from the perspective of his death happening. But what about what happened afterwards? Who stood to gain? Who did gain financially from his passing? I know that his estate was settled and money was dispersed. Who received money? Who fought hard to make sure that his baby mama didn't receive money? And who did receive money? And when I say baby mama, I mean the first one, the one nobody likes. She didn't get the Wheel of Fortune, so she had nothing to do with his death. And I also get the impression from his spirit that he would like people to cut her some slack, because there are people that stood to gain from his passing, who stood to gain from making sure that she didn't. With all her faults and her flaws, she's not as bad as people make her out to seem in the media, allegedly. Above, Nipsey Hussle's death was very predatory. There were people around him who had their mind on his money, on his assets, on what they stood to gain from him passing. I know that he had businesses, because this is the King of Pentacles. So this isn't just a successful rapper. Most rappers don't gain most of their wealth through music alone. They usually branch out into business. And I didn't know much about Nipsey Hussle until after he passed away, and I still don't. But I do know that he was involved in businesses and he promoted businesses and business. Something about his businesses, his assets, his finances. This was the reason for his passing. It was purely financial. I don't get beef. I still haven't gotten the Five of Wands. I haven't gotten the Five of Swords. So from Nipsey's perspective, his death has less to do with that beef, whether it was arranged and triggered or triggered because it was arranged. But he's more concerned with who stood to gain from his death, because that is at the core of his death. Now, I don't know who's a Leo, but this doesn't necessarily give me Leo. This actually, in my spirit, I hear second baby mama. Now, you guys asked me to read Lauren London and Nipsey Hussle. Here it is. The Empress, to me, I would have gotten that if that was his first baby mama or his mother. But even when I heard this, when I pulled this, I heard second baby mama. The strength, the one who, after his death, in the media, their new image, their new perception became a pillar of strength and dignity and class and integrity. But only after his passing did this person. This is one of the things that they stood to gain from his passing, besides just the financial aspect. Their whole image was rebranded. No more were there whispers about them being a Hollywood. Because I did hear those rumors, but I didn't care enough or know enough about this person to pay too much attention to it. And this is all alleged story time with the Dina for entertainment purposes. But now their image is something completely different from the ATL days and from the Hollywood scene days. Trying to get on and land a big fish days. After Lil Wayne money dried up days, and that wasn't the lick that you thought it was going to be days. Someone has a whole new bag. Someone has a whole new image as the pillar, the baby mama with class, strength, integrity. Now, this is in the so below position. She would know very intimate details about his business dealings, as they were allegedly together, not together, on and off at the time, possibly on, I don't know. I'm just going off of what I've heard online. But she would have known because they were in a relationship close to the time of his death, at least. She would know intimate details about his finances, his assets, his business dealings. She would be able to set up or arrange circumstances leading up to his passing, allegedly. This gives me the person who unalived Nipsey Hussle, but this gives me maybe he doesn't even know all of the details. Kind of like he was set up to. Kind of like being gossiped to and lied to in order to provoke him, knowing that he would be easily provoked because maybe he already made threats, or they already, and I'm talking about the person who actually shot Nipsey Hussle, maybe they already had some dissension in their past or recent past that would have made him the perfect person to do it, because he would have been easily influenced. If if certain things were told to him, inflammatory things, truths and half-truths, but inflammatory, inflamed, in order to trigger and arouse this person's anger, because they're in reverse. If they were upright, I would say that they were the hitman. They were well aware that this was a setup on Nipsey Hussle. They were carrying out an order. They were carrying out an order, but maybe an order that they weren't even aware that they were carrying out. That they were just being their willingness on the inside to do something like that was being preyed upon and used. External to the circumstances is this Fool in reverse. This almost feels like someone who was there but wasn't there. Maybe someone who was not too far away, maybe around the corner, maybe someone where they could maybe see or hear things going on in order to make sure that sirens came, that they can see or hear police and the commotion, but not be seen on the scene. That's what that feels like to me. Hopes and fears. The hopes and fears were surrounding his money, because I know that there was a lot of tug of war behind his assets before they were actually distributed and dispersed. So the people who were involved, who had interest, who knew that they stood to gain, their hopes and fears was that everything went accordingly, according to the finances and the assets, that they were distributed and burst to the people who was behind his passing. Final outcome, this person or the people involved do not necessarily have peace surrounding Nipsey Hussle's death. For some reason, they feel like there is chatter where there shouldn't be. So someone or someones are not at peace for fear that their involvement, their alleged involvement, could one day be exposed. I get the impression that the person who did it, if they knew that he was being provoked in order to kill or unalive, I'm sorry, YouTube, Nipsey Hussle, he wouldn't have done it. But here he was enraged, inflamed, because a woman here, a woman, was telling him half-truths, lies, and fallacies. I don't know if this woman was flirting, promising, or insinuating that this person had a chance with her for the sole purpose of being able to get into this man's head and manipulate him to believe that Nipsey was, I don't know if he felt like Nipsey was trying to cut him out of some business or do him dirty some kind of way. But had he known that this was lies and manipulation from this woman, he wouldn't have been, he would have been like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I might not like dude. We may not be seeing eye to eye right now, but I'm not going to do that. So they had to inflame him, and manipulate him. Let me look into the hangman in the past position, because it's interesting that it didn't come out in the present, in the challenge, or in the near future. It came out in the past. I think that him and Lauren London allegedly were broken up at the time of his passing. So she felt cut out financially This feels like a desperate woman and a vindictive woman who didn't want to lose access to finances. It feels like child support wasn't going to be just enough. She learned from Lil Wayne that child support isn't enough. The relationship didn't work out. The hopes and ambitions for a ring didn't pan out. So the money, the long-term money, wasn't panning out. And something needed to be done. In order to ensure that she wasn't cut out of the will and the assets. Child support wasn't enough. Having a trust set up for your child that the father controls, and he's smart enough and business savvy enough to know how to protect his assets so that the women get the child support and whatever they need to take care for the children, but the bulk of the money is for the children, and the children only will get it, and he will ensure that. This is, I want my own piece of the pie, of the lifestyle. And now that we're not together anymore, the parts that would benefit me directly, not our baby or me as our child's mother, but me directly as your partner, your significant other. I don't get that anymore. That's behind the death card. Before I look into the Wheel of Fortune, let me look into the King of Pentacles, which is who I assume Nipsey Hussle is in this reading. Very business savvy, enterprising, and was working on, this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy for a businessman, someone who is enterprising and who is planting seeds, and they are fruitful and multiplying. He was making the money, and he was looking to expand his empire and cutting off not loose ends, but baggage. He considered Lauren London baggage. I get the energy that for where he was going in life and how he was growing mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, he was outgrowing her in their relationship. She's a Hollywood girl. She's a LA girl. No shade to Hollywood, LA girls, but like, this is like a stereotypical girl in the industry. She was an industry girl. And she was good while it was good, and they had a baby and all of that. But for how he was growing, and I get this is spiritually more than anything, he needed something deeper. What she became after his death is what he would have liked her to be genuinely when they were together. But genuinely, she wasn't like that when he was alive. Even if she was starting to make changes, it was to appease and to please him. But even she couldn't fool him. That's why she let her go. He let her go. And this isn't just her. This is other people that he was cutting ties with as his empire began to grow. I think that someone knew that a constant end to him, even if they were cut off, would be the fact that they had a child together. So we always have to communicate. I'll always have contact with him. So even if this person, this woman, didn't act alone, which I don't think she did everything on her own. I think other parties that had interest in Nipsey Hussle being gone also were with her, supporting her in this endeavor. But if they were cut off and didn't have direct access to Nipsey Hussle anymore, she did, because they had a child together. Now let me look into the card that I believe to be Lauren London, because it's right in the solo position. The Lovers. Now, when I said earlier that I read Nipsey Hussle in my own private time and I got some questionable cards, this was the first card out, which led me to think that this is someone that he was intimate with at the time of his death, publicly in a relationship with, and they publicly were not broken up. They had just did a magazine campaign together. So publicly, image-wise, they were in a relationship. And I said this is the card that made me feel like he meant his second baby mama. This is the same card that I got when I was reading it by myself. Allegedly, this is Lauren London. She is not the person, the righteous, upright, justified person that she portrays herself to be. If y'all heard any other psychics say that, I concur. They were right on that part. She had a lot to do with the drama that caused his death. Again, I believe that she was the Queen of Cups. I did when I was reading it, but I didn't want to say it until I got the card evidence. I believe that she was the Queen of Cups in reverse in that man's ear, either directly or indirectly, spewing dissension that caused hate towards Nipsey Hussle. She created the breeding grounds. A woman scorned. She pillow talked and told intimate details and secrets allegedly. And he said this, and yeah, well, he really didn't. And that time y'all was together and da-da-da, and he really plans to cut you and da-da-da, you know, things like that. To cause this man to react a way that, had he been in tune with the truth, he wouldn't have felt the need to act the way he did. That's the card I get for Lauren London. Look at her talking. It's like everything was all good when they were together. Maybe this person, maybe this man even was interested in Lauren London when she was in a relationship with Nipsey. And maybe she didn't outright just curve. I mean, she did, but in a way that women do, where we have plans, when we're manipulating and plotting. I may need him for something. So even though he doesn't stand a chance in hell with me, I'm going to play a little bit nice in case I need to use him for something later on. Man, that was free game. And after they broke up, that's exactly what she did. She went chitter-chattering. Now I'm going to look into the killer with the King of Swords in reverse. Again, I think that he was interested in Lauren London. Even if she was giving him the, you know, boy, please, he still would have, nah, man, you know, give a nigga a chance, man. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't together no more. Even when she was in a relationship with Nipsey, I get this man was, now whether this is a killer or someone who helped Lauren arrange things. This could have been the killer directly or someone who helped her arrange this mastermind setup plot. Someone who was after her even while she was in a relationship with Nipsey. And I don't know if she cheated or if this was a friend of Nipsey, someone who shouldn't have been interested or actively flirting with his girl. Whoever this person was, he liked her, but she was not going to give him the time of day. And she probably could have offered to pay someone. There's two separate men here involved. One is the actual shooter who was just a pawn, and one who was in bed, so to speak, possibly literally, but in bed, so to speak, with Lauren London in this Nipsey Hussle arrangement. the Fool in reverse, I want to look into the person who was around. This is someone who was in on it but didn't want to be on the scene directly or seen directly or directly involved. I no, you know what? I'm completely wrong about that Fool in reverse. No. That's not. While I do think somebody that was involved was there, I think that this Fool in reverse is his daughter. The one with the first baby mama. Because I think she is being manipulated. Behind her is all these coins in reverse. All this money in reverse. And here's the first baby mama in reverse with no money behind the daughter. I think that they are manipulating her. Yes, I did hear some of the stories about the baby's mama. However, I do get the energy, and let me just confirm. Is the daughter, his eldest daughter, from his first baby mama being manipulated by the people who stood to gain financially from Nipsey Hussle? Look, these are the people who she lives with, who took her in when she said her mother locked her out and her mother wasn't able to properly care for her. So they took her in and they also gained financially. They gained financially, which was in the hopes and fears position. His daughter is being manipulated, allegedly. Let me look into the Wheel of Fortune, because that is, since we're on the subject of those who stood to gain, and then I'm going to close. The happy family. Now, I am not saying that every member of his family was involved in his death. However, members of his family stood to gain financially, and so did Lauren London, the one who gets to live in his memory as the woman that he was with, his unofficial widow, the one that he will be remembered to have been in a relationship with at the time of his death, whose image is now redone as this angel Zen, temperance, Zen, spiritual person. But the bottom of the deck, that's not really who she is. Now, this could be Diddy. I know people said that she's involved with Diddy. That could be. And Nine of Swords, who is living in fear and trepidation because of Nipsey Hussle's passing. The people who stood to gain. Someone, I don't know. Someone who got paid. I don't know if they're responsible. I don't know who's responsible for who's responsible for what. This gives me more than one person besides Lauren London in his close unit, within the people who got paid. At some point, it seems like someone suspected that something wasn't right, but since the money was coming, it looks like things were going to work out that way. And he's already gone now. If they blow up Lauren London's spot, the money gets tied up in all these legal battles, and who knows what could happen. Might as well go along with it. So there's someone in his close-knit circle, not just his alleged second baby mother, that is aware of some nastiness. And with that being said, I am going to thank Nipsey Hussle for your energy and for speaking with me and my subscribers here at Beyond the Veil. And may you go off in peace and be blessed and be well and be healed. Ashe, Nipsey. And thank you all for joining me here Beyond the Veil. It's cold and I have more work to do, so I'm going to go get to it. Love you guys. Bye.